What's going on, guys? It's Joe Farewell with Tactical Hyve, and today we're talking about offset red dots topped off with an LPVO on your AR-15. So the first thing I want to cover is, number one, why would you want an offset red dot in the first place? It's not just the cool factor of having two optics on there and the added weight thereof, but really it's a very strategic and useful option to put on your rifle. The reason I run an offset red dot is in a situation where I want to be using my LPVO, in this case a Vortex Gen 3 Razor 1 to 10. I might want this dialed up to say 6 or even 10 power for some long range targets, but I also have targets up close. And this in the sport aspect is pretty effective because I'm able to immediately take these up close targets and then rotate the scope over and have the long range ability of the LPVO without having to reach up and adjust anything. In a tactical or hunting aspect even, this allows you to run a higher power, higher magnification optic while also having the ability to immediately come up and take a quick shot in case of that deer that's walking across the pathway, or a mountain lion coming out of the bushes, something like that, where you don't want to bring up your optic and see nothing but brown. You want to be able to get a clear sight picture and an accurate shot, and that's where that offset comes in. Now, how do we get the right setup for you as far as your offset goes? Today I'm running a Badger Ordinance Condition 1 mount, which gives me a 1.7 inch offset, mechanical offset for the rifle, and gives me a little bit more clearance for this Gen 3 Razor. Now with the Gen 2 Razor or the Viper PST2, I can run just a standard height optic mount. This one, having the scope a little bit higher because it's a bigger tube, gives me the room to fit the mount for the offset underneath it. Now the offset mount that I'm running is a quick disconnect option from American Defense Manufacturing, ADM, and it's built specifically for the screw pattern for the Vortex Razor. I'm running the 3 MOA dot on this rifle. Sometimes I'll run a 6 MOA, but I prefer the 3 for rifle because it gives you a very precise dot, and because we're not losing that dot like we do with a pistol under recoil, having that ability to have a very precise aiming point gives me just a little bit more refinement with my sight picture when it comes to rifle shots. Now, becoming proficient with an offset red dot isn't as simple as just throwing it on here and running it. You need to be comfortable with exactly how far you have to rotate that rifle over. So I don't want to change my shoulder position or my cheek weld when it comes to running the optic versus the offset optic. So what I want to do is, once I get this mounted, I'm going to do a lot of dry fire drills where I'm snapping this rifle up, building a good cheek weld, and simply rotating the rifle over that 37 or 45 degrees or whatever the distance is that you have to rotate it, so that we're not changing anything to get a good clear sight picture through that side mount red dot. Now, when it comes to practical application on the range, a simple drill that you can set up is just having a target up close and a precise target or a farther away target downrange. That way we're able to work the offset red dot and then rotate into the primary optic, and then you can rotate backwards as well. So we're gonna go ahead and run a quick drill live and see what that looks like running an offset with an LPVO. All right, guys, the drill that I'm running is just 2 up close targets or closer targets, and then transition to a farther target that's up on the hill here. And we're gonna use the offset red dot for the 2 close targets, and I've got this dialed up to about 3.5 power for that farther target. I'm gonna go ahead and brace off of the barricade. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. Stand by. So it's a really simple process, making sure we're getting our hit up there. And we're gonna go ahead and reverse that whole process as well and see what it would look like if I were to come out of a long range position and immediately have close range targets. Stand by. All right, guys, so I hope that gives you a little insight into what it looks like to run an offset red dot and how to train with one effectively. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out on social media and check out the future videos we've got coming out here at Tactical Hyve.